Today, 3 Gonzaga students will be pitted against each other in a battle of culinary cuisine. Each student has a love for cooking and will be able to show their own flair in today's events.
Our location, a refrigerated warehouse at Second Harvest. Second Harvest is a nonprofit organization dedicated to fighting hunger. This is the Gonzaga Cook-Off.
Over 43 years, Second Harvest has been working to provide food for those in need. However, they are not your traditional food bank.
A misconception about Second Harvest is that it is a food bank where it's really distributing centers. So food banks from the region will come in and get food in bulk.
Today, well over half of the food that we provide is fresh, perishable, and very nutritious.
Second Harvest works to supply food for 250 food banks over 26 counties in eastern Washington and northern Idaho.
Overall, the need for food assistance is and has been unprecedented for about 5 years.
There are just certain times when a representative will just say, like, we had so many people come in last week and we're all cleaned out, and they just always express gratitude to have Second Harvest there where they can always come and restock their shelves.
Second Harvest is making an immediate impact on people's lives in this community, but they are also committed to making real change in hunger.
We believe that we are ready to take that next step in this evolution, and we're calling it the Kitchen at Second Harvest. It will mostly and first be an education kitchen. If they can access a more nutritious diet, that ultimately they will be able to obtain greater self-sufficiency. And that's the key.
The thing you'll hear most from a Second Harvest employee is that they cannot do what they do without the help of community involvement.
And we believe that we are stewards of that generosity. And it's important to us to be efficient and to use the community's resources as wisely as we can.
You can help by donating food, helping fundraise, or by even donating your time. This helps them in their goal of fighting hunger and feeding hope.
Now we know what Second Harvest does for the community, but we don't know what goes on in the actual warehouse. Mika San Giacomo took a tour earlier this week to find out what goes on in the facilities.
Hello, I am Mika San Giacomo with GUTV, and today we will be giving you a tour of Second Harvest behind the scenes. So on a regular weekday, this is where you first walk into, and you walk up to the counter, sign in, and they will give you a visitor badge. Then they will direct you this way, and you are immediately shown a picture of Kay, the founder of this organization that was founded in 1971, and it has still been going strong today. After you check in, you will come to this room where volunteers have a little meet and greet. You get to meet the volunteers that you will be spending the next few hours with. And there are actually a few volunteers here today that are from Gonzaga University. Let's go check out what they're doing. So when volunteering at Second Harvest, this is where the magic happens. Volunteers come here and they get an assembly line and they sort food. Let's go ask a Gonzaga student how he is doing. Ben, how are you today?
Good. We're just sorting some potatoes.
How is it volunteering? Is it fun?
It is. A little dizzy.
So what is your job exactly?
We were just going through and seeing if any of the potatoes look like that and get rid of them. And we feel for the soft ones and the pre-sort.
Well, there you have it. All fun in the sorting line. Well, that wraps it up in here. Now let's go take a look at behind the scenes Gonzaga's Chopped. Welcome to the storage warehouse where our GUTV edition of Chopped will begin.
The judges will be determining which chef creations are worthy of the Gonzaga Cook-Off title. Today we are so lucky to have Mr. Mike Schroeder, Mac Catering Manager, Miss Angela Ruff, Gonzaga Special Projects Manager, and GSBA President himself, Mr. Connor House. How are you guys doing today? Good, good. Well, Connor, how do you feel about eating some GU originals?
Oh man, I'm excited. It's already looking good. Let's hope they make something that I'm gonna enjoy.
Nice. And Angela, for this first round, tofu is their secret ingredient. What do you think they can do with tofu?
Well, depending on the texture. If it's soft, you can use it creamy in a sauce or a dip, or my favorite though is crispy fried.
Sounds delicious. My stomach's already rumbling. Mike, what do you think their biggest challenge is cooking in this kind of environment?
Well, number one, it's cold today, and number two, it's like being in somebody else's kitchen. So, you know, nobody knows where anything's at, and it's a challenge to pull it together in the time that you need to do it. So
awesome. Thank you for being here. Well, I mean, this is typical Gonzaga. It's a competition against each other, but they're helping each other in the kitchen.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's hope they work together and make something awesome, you know.
What kind of dynamic do you think that adds to this competition?
Oh, I think it has to be fun or you can't do it, right? So a competition is a little bit of tension, but the energy is really from fun.
As catering manager in McCarthy, you see a lot of competition. What do you think is going through their minds right now?
I'm just trying to get it done in time. I'm all about time, you know. My whole job is making things done right and on time. So see how the kids do today, yeah.
Well, I hope you guys are hungry. Good luck to the competitors today. It's going to be some great food. So we've met the judges. Now it's time to meet the kitchen killers competing in today's cook-off. First up is GU Junior, Miss Annie Blake Burke.
My name is Annie Blake Burke. I'm a junior and my major is public relations. I've always enjoyed cooking since I was really young. My mom and my sister were always in the kitchen trying new recipes, and it just always piqued my interest. Since I started eating gluten-free, I had to definitely be more creative with my recipes. And it just made me be a little bit more knowledgeable about food and about what's in food. I want to win because I think it'll just kind of prove to myself that I really can compete and that my cooking skills aren't just, you know, something that I do for fun or something that's a hobby. I have been thinking about going to culinary school, and so this could be, you know, not the only thing, but something that maybe encourages me to pursue that opportunity.
Annie, welcome. I'm sure you're excited to start cooking today. What does it feel like to cook in this kind of an environment?
Well, I usually just cook for fun, so this is definitely something new, but I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you. Our second player today at Second Harvest is Mr. Lucas Sims.
My name is Lucas Sims. I'm a sophomore here at GU, and I am an undeclared business major.
My mother and my father own a Mexican restaurant together, so I've been around cooking all my life. My signature dish is probably guacamole. Really, I'm just good at Mexican food, probably because I've been around it my whole life. I have the street smarts of cuisine, yes. My mother would cook homemade meals every night, so I never really got a chance to be in the kitchen. But now that I'm on my own and I have the kitchen myself, I can cook whenever I want, cook for as many people. It's really fun. But, I mean, cooking is a self-sustaining thing, but it's way more fun if you're with your friends, just like everything else is more fun when you're with your friends. You laugh and joke around while you're making food. It makes it go by a lot faster, and you don't have to watch the kettle boil. Of course I'm going to win the competition. Can't imagine anybody's going to challenge me.
So what do you think gives you an advantage over the other competitors here today?
Well, my parents have actually owned restaurants for a really long time, so I've been surrounded by food all my life, so I really think that puts me ahead.
Nice. So you have a lot of learning experience.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, the third player today in this three-way battle is none other than Mr. Ryan Songkwan.
My name is Ryan Songkwan. I'm a junior and I'm majoring in sport management. I got into cooking because when I was around 8th grade, my dad got orders from the military to deploy overseas. So then I had to take on a lot more responsibility around the house. And with my mom working, sometimes I'd have to do the cooking. So that always kind of it forced me into the situation, but then I realized I really loved it. I like to make all sorts of things because I love the challenge of trying something new. I'm competing because I got invited by a friend that I've met in class, and she told me about the competition, and I told her that I loved cooking and I'd be very willing. I was very surprised to hear that this was going on because I hadn't heard about it my past 2 years being here.
What did you do to prepare for this competition?
You know, everything was going to be a secret, so we didn't know what to prepare. So honestly, I'm just hoping to go with the flow and hope for the best.
Awesome. Well, good luck to all three of you. The chefs are here, the judges are hungry, and it's time to get started for the heated battle. When we come back, you won't want to miss what these chefs have got going for you. We'll see you soon. Don't move a muscle.
beautiful.
Hey, I like your smile. Great job. Keep up the good work.
Hey, your shirt looks really good on you.
And this here is the kindest girl on Gonzaga's campus. You're the best. I love GU.
Hello and welcome back to the Gonzaga Cook-Off. I'm your Mater D, Matt Vergara. It's the time you've all been waiting for, the cook-off. There will be 2 rounds. The first round, chefs will have 30 minutes to complete an appetizer course. The ingredients used will be examples of Second Harvest donations that they receive. With an added twist, there will be a secret ingredient the cooks must incorporate into their dishes. At the end of 30 minutes, chefs must have their meals completed and plated, and the judges will then taste and deliberate the top 2 chefs and their dishes. The third chef will be eliminated with doggy bag in hand. Chefs, you'll have a few seconds to look at your ingredients that you'll be using in your dishes. Please take a look at them now. As soon as I say the secret ingredient, the time will begin. Your secret ingredient today is tofu.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
Time starts now. Let's get cooking.
I have never eaten or cooked tofu. I've never even dealt with it. I had no idea what to think. So I just calmed down because I knew I could do this. Everybody else didn't really know how to work with it either, I don't think.
When I found out about the secret ingredient of tofu, I was pretty taken aback just because in my experience of cooking, I've never done that. I was trying to, like, as fast as I could, try to see what would go together. And that's why my first initial reaction to seeing spinach and walnuts would just be kind of making some kind of salad.
Spinach and walnuts are fine. I cook with spinach every day, and I eat a lot of nuts, so that was fine. But I'd never cooked tofu before, and I'd never eaten tofu before, so it was pretty interesting. I had to kind of think on my feet and just go off of what I had seen on the Food Network. So I just made the most of it and made sure that I was tasting it as I went along so that it would taste good for the judges.
Everybody else is going to be making a salad, and I saw that we didn't have any dressing on hand, so I chose to abandon that idea and go with something else. So I kind of thought a toast.
I pan fried it, so I just kind of put a bunch of oil in the pan, seasoned it with some spices, and dredged it in some flour and threw it in the pan to make it crispy and flavorful.
I started by getting a mixing bowl and I started mixing the ingredients. So I went with peanut butter first, grabbed some balsamic vinegar, went with that. And then that's kind of where I realized that I was missing one of the ingredients I was planning on using, which was soy sauce. So I didn't realize that until I had started mixing, and then at that point I was like, well, I already started this. I can't really stop and just think of something else. So I just went with it.
I put candied walnuts on the toast. I had never made those before, so that was my first challenge. I knew essentially that candied walnuts are just sugar and walnuts, and you cook it with butter, and I don't really know how to separate it, or I didn't know how to separate it or make anything, but I just kind of went for it.
Cooking under a time constraint was something that I'd never done before.
Chefs, you have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes.
So it was definitely new and challenging, but we had a pretty good amount of time. We had half an hour for an appetizer, so I didn't feel too much pressure at all.
I forgot to pay attention, and I looked over and I saw there was a little bit of smoke coming up from the nuts. So I was like, oh no, I have burning nuts.
The soy sauce kind of acted as a thinner, so then once the sauce that I had made to pour on top, it started cooling. It got very thick, which I wasn't anticipating. As a result, the sauce that I put on top was just not the consistency that I was hoping for.
And then I guess the tofu was the other challenge. I assumed that olive oil and salt and pepper would work, but I don't think I cooked it all the way through. I don't think it was as crispy as, or as pan-seared as people like it. But I didn't know when to stop, and I didn't want to overcook it, so I thought, might as well take it off then, I don't know.
1 minute, 1 minute.
I was just kind of nervous and anxious to see how it turned out without the soy sauce.
I know that Ryan kind of got screwed over by the fact that he didn't have soy sauce. Going into the judging round, I was pretty confident that my dish, especially being the standout, not being a salad, I was pretty confident going in.
I was just wondering what it really tasted like, because I just had no idea what it really would have tasted like, so I just hoped for the best. I was just like, okay, this happened and it happened, so I'll learn from it next time.
I finished quite early. I never felt too much pressure at all.
Annie made a killer dish, especially with the uniqueness of her salad dressing and the on-the-spot kind of ideology of her salad. It looked really good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Hands off your plates, chefs. Hands off your plates. One at a time, the chefs will bring their creations to the judges. They'll describe what they made. Then they'll head to the green room as the judges will taste and deliberate and pick the top 2 dishes to move on to the next round. First up, Annie Blake Burke.
I made a spinach salad with an olive oil and mandarin orange vinaigrette. There's some mandarin orange segments, avocado, some bursted cherry tomatoes that I did on the stove, and then spice crusted tofu and some caramelized walnuts on top.
All right, up next is Lucas Sims.
Alrighty, I made a toast with mozzarella on top, and you get some tofu, cherry tomatoes, baby spinach, and some caramelized walnuts on that. All right.
Thanks, Lucas. Last but not least, Ryan Songkwan.
I also made a salad on a bed of spinach, and then there's tofu that is pan-seared in a sauce that is made of peanut butter, balsamic vinaigrette. It's minced onions and garlic salt, and then another sauce that has like most of those ingredients, but I made it as the sauce to put on top, and then there's also some balsamic just drizzled around that. So.
Thanks, Ryan. Judges, it's all up to you now. Have at it.
I think it went pretty well. I'm pretty confident in my dish, so we'll just see what the judges say.
What I'm nervous about though is I had the idea in my head and I saw the ingredients. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with this. Then I started and realized there's one ingredient that they didn't have, which was soy sauce.
I don't really know how the tofu turned out. I tried it, it tasted good for what I thought. But.
So we'll see. I honestly have no idea how it really tastes. I just kind of went with it and hope for the best. So.
All right, guys, so you started with Annie's Mandarin salad. What do you think right now?
I'm liking the flavors. Yeah, she did a nice job with it. It's, I noticed she was the only one, too, that was actually tasting her food while she was cooking it. So it's always kind of a good thing, I think. Yeah.
Angela, how about you? What is popping out to you right now on your palate?
I think the tofu is prepared very well. A little bit of a seasoned crust, quickly made. The bursted tomatoes are really fresh tasting. Great job.
And Connor, as far as how it looks, is it appealing to you? What do you see on the plate?
Yeah, it's really good. It's got color. The tofu looks nice. It's not just kind of white and mushy looking. It's yeah, it's just very dynamic, and I do like how the tofu has some, you can taste it and has some good texture, and it mixes really well with everything.
Awesome. The judges have made their decision. Let's bring the contestants in to see what the judges thought about their dishes. Connor, so what did you think about Annie's dish? What did the judges in all think about Annie's salad?
Yeah, Annie, it was really good. The tofu had a good crust on it, really good texture. I like how you brought together a lot of different things in this salad. I even saw you pouring some pineapple juice in the vinaigrette, and I thought that might kind of be too much, but you brought it together really nicely, so it was great.
And Angela, what popped out and stood out for you and Lucas's toast?
Well, first of all, great presentation, Lucas. We really, really liked your presentation. The tofu was infused with a lot of good flavor. It was really fun. Mozzarella, good call. Nice little flavor balancer there. So, and it was warm, so that's good.
Mike, what did you all think of Ryan's peanut butter salad?
We like the peanut butter salad. Tofu and Thai. It's kind of a Thai feel to it with the peanut butter. He did a really nice job on the tofu as opposed to with the crust and things like that. Presentation was probably the one area where we marked him down a little bit. Sorry.
So there you go. Which two dishes?
We chose Annie and Lucas's to move on.
I just didn't really bring my A game today. I was just kind of going on the fly, a little too nervous. So if I would have just calmed myself down, kind of like, I would love to do some more cooking in the future. I mean, the competition side's a little more intense than I like, but I mean, it's fun to get like rewarded for your good work and everything like that. So.
The judges have made their decision. Looks like Ryan's going home. Now we only have 2 chefs left. There is a hidden twist in the show. We did not tell you guys about this, but we will be losing 1 judge, and that means only 2 judges left. Mike will be leaving us in a short while. But Mike, what did you think about the food so far?
I thought that everybody did a great job. It's a tough assignment, and it's not an easy task, and I thought everybody did great. So good work.
Awesome. Everybody. Thanks for being here, Mike. So we have 2 chefs left, 2 judges here at Second Harvest. We're going to continue this heated battle when we come back. Don't move a beat.
Over a month after the Opus Prize ceremony, the spirit and excitement of the award still resonates throughout campus. Gonzaga continues to live out the Opus mission of faith-based service, a mission that falls closely in line with Gonzaga's as a Jesuit institution. In fact, this Thanksgiving season, Sodexo, The Bark, and Second Harvest have teamed up to help stop hunger in the Spokane community. When students swiped into The Bark, they had the option to donate either their dining dollars or block swipes in the form of meals to Second Harvest. Together, they raised over 3,000 meals. Look how generous the Zags were. Opus is all about inspiring the spirit of service. Whether it's a small donation or housing a woman just out of prison with her children, like Sister Tisa does, every little bit counts.
Welcome back to the Gonzaga Cook-Off. I'm Matt Vergara. We've already eliminated 1 chef today, and another one will be tossed to determine who is the champion of the Gonzaga Cook-Off. Now it's time for the second round. This time they'll get an extra 10 minutes, giving them a total of 40 minutes to create this main course, the entree. Chefs, have you gotten a chance to look at your ingredients? Awesome. Your secret ingredient is cherries, dried cherries.
When I heard dried cherries, I really did not know what to think.
Time starts now.
I had never even thought about cooking any kind of entree with dried cherries, but when I saw all the ingredients with potatoes and ground turkey, I thought about Thanksgiving.
That was probably the scariest moment of the entire competition because I didn't know what to do with the dried cherries at first. And then I just kind of remembered, well, if I want to do anything with them, I need to get them reconstituted in some liquid so that I can turn it into a sauce.
Since I didn't really have the ingredients for any kind of Thanksgiving meal, I decided to go for an empanada almost of sorts, where the bread encompasses everything inside. I took the ground turkey and the cherries and some onions and just kind of made a little mash of it and cooked it all in one pan.
It feels a little bit more tense than it did this morning. I noticed when we had 3 candidates, they started out kind of cooperative and sharing the olive oil and that dynamic has a little bit disappeared.
I wanted to make a cider, a burger, so I just went and got the other ingredients out of the basket and decided what to do with them and then worked the cherries into it.
Chefs, you have 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes, chefs.
Something that my family has always called me is the sandwich king, just because I love sandwiches. I make everything a sandwich. Every pasta meal, every roast beef and mashed potatoes, I will make into a sandwich because I think everything tastes better in between 2 slices of bread, I would say.
Turkey meat and cherries, what do you think they can do with that, Connor?
You know, I really have no idea. That's a tough one. Very tough. Looks like Annie hit the ground running. You know, she had an idea in mind, was ready to go. I think Lucas wasn't as sure on what to do, but he's now working hard. So, yeah, that'd be a tough one.
With the cherries, I knew that I had to make some sort of a sauce with them, and I had ground turkey, and I was like, what am I going to do with ground turkey? What goes good with that? Barbecue sauce. So I just threw the cherries into barbecue sauce, and it turned out well.
Chefs, you have 1 minute.
Yeah, Lucas was really determined and he seemed pretty focused and intense when he was cooking, so I was definitely nervous.
The most stressful part was really you always see those classical countdowns from the Iron Chef and Chopped and all those shows, and you always think there's no way that they're just finishing that dish. They've had those dishes finished for the last 5 minutes and they're just making it look more intense. I had 3 seconds to put everything on a plate. It was really intense.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Hands off your plates, chefs. Hands off your plates.
She had a really unique take on cherries.
And I by no means thought that I had it in the bag.
So the time has come. The chefs will once again for this round take their creations to the judges. Then they will head to the green room for deliberation. First up, Lucas Sims. What'd you cook, Lucas?
I kind of just made everything I love about food, and that's, of course, the ground turkey, the cherries, and some potatoes and onions, and that's kind of like a ground beef mix. And then I made also a pasta and decided to merge the two in one big sandwich. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
College Eats. That's College Eats right there. Next, Annie Blake Burke.
I made a turkey slider with cherry barbecue sauce and a potato and red onion hash. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Head to the green room. You guys, looks like you have some delicious meals ahead of you. Please dig in and start deliberating. Yeah.
I'm really happy with my dish, to be honest. It's definitely a more home-style kind of cooking, but the flavors were great. It turned out, I'm really, really happy, yeah.
I got a chance to try it, and it definitely was delicious. Annie, how do you think it went for you?
I'm pretty confident in my dish. I wasn't really stressed out this round, so I think I did a good job.
That's good. Well, thank you two both for joining us today. Let's go back to the warehouse to see what the judges have concluded.
Welcome back. Welcome back. How are you guys feeling? A little bit nervous? Well, now it's time for judge deliberation. Connor, what did you and Angela think of Annie's dish?
Oh man, first off, they were both really good, you guys. Very different too in their own way. Annie, we love the crust and especially the barbecue sauce. What you did with the cherries and the very tender turkey patty. It was very good. The hash was good. It was a little bit salty for us, but it was just a great dish. Something I would expect to get at a restaurant for 15, 20 bucks. So, yeah.
Beautiful. And Angela, what about Lucas's sandwich popped out to you and Connor?
This is comfort food city, Lucas. So it's a great option. Actually, I was kind of surprised that flavors are a lot more balanced than I expected because you have a lot of starches. We did a great job getting the blend and the moisture and all of that. I think it's a little bit pasta heavy, but it's a good addition because it's a filler. Like you could go to a football game on this, right? Salad a little bit thrown together at the last minute, but it was good to have a fresh side. So yeah, good meal.
Awesome. Well, contestants, you've heard what the judges had to say. Now it's time to announce the winner. Drum roll, please. Brrr. Connor, who is it? Who comes out winner?
Okay, mainly because of the use of the cherry, and really that's the focal point of the meal, is Annie was the winner.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right, let's have a round of applause for Annie. There you go, nice. Congratulations to Annie. Her dish had the most flair and came out on top. Have you done a barbecue sauce like that before?
Never. Never reconstituted dried fruit before. Nope, it was the first. Thinking on my feet.
It's not the best feeling in the world, but Annie's some great competition. She really used her cherries well, which I think in the end, like the judges were saying, really put her on top. So it was a really fun time. So I'm just glad I did it. Yeah.
We want to say thank you to Mike Schroeder, Angela Ruff, and Connor House for being able to judge these dishes. We also want to say thank you to Annie, Lucas, and Ryan for sharing your talents with us. It was mighty delicious. Stay tuned for our next show where our GUTV reporter Nick Winstead will be reporting on ethics at Gonzaga. And we just want to give one final thank you to Second Harvest. Without you, this show would not have been possible. And with you, there are families that are no longer hungry. I'm Matt Vergara, and the heat was brought. Now get out of the kitchen. Good night.